Hey there, and welcome. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the smarter you get, the smaller your social circle becomes? It's a really strange and, honestly, a pretty isolating feeling. Today, we're going to dig into why that happens, exploring the solitude that can sometimes go hand in hand with being brilliant.
So, this is the big question, right? It's a total paradox. Why would a powerful mind, one that can see all these connections and possibilities, lead to feeling, well, disconnected? If this sounds familiar, I just want you to know you're definitely not alone in feeling alone.
And look, this isn't just a hunch or something you're imagining. It's a pattern that's been observed over and over. What we're going to do is unpack how the unique ways brilliant people think and communicate can actually create some very real social hurdles.
All right, so let's get into the weeds here. We're going to break down 6 key reasons, 6 isolating factors that are often hidden beneath the surface that explain why a brilliant mind can sometimes lead to a life of solitude. Okay, so there are 6 big ones. Let's jump right in with the first one, and I have a feeling this is something a lot of you are going to nod your heads to. For a lot of highly intelligent people, small talk isn't just boring, it can feel physically draining. Seriously, it's like trying to run a supercomputer on a couple of AA batteries. It's not about being rude or stuck up. It's about preserving your mental energy for things that actually matter to you. And I really want to stress this. This has nothing to do with being a snob. It's a genuine hunger for depth. So that polite back and forth about the weather, it can feel like a total waste of brain power when what you really crave is a meaty, substantive conversation. The problem is, this can easily get misinterpreted as you being aloof or bored or just plain uninterested. And the disconnect goes even deeper than just what you're talking about. A lot of the time, it's about the very way the conversation is built. The whole structure is just different. Yeah, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have typical social banter. It's all about connection, telling stories from A to B, and sharing feelings. But on the other side, an intellectual deep dive prioritizes getting the facts right, jumping into abstract ideas, and analyzing things. Neither one is better or worse, but they are operating on completely different frequencies. And trying to have a conversation when you're on different frequencies, well, it can be a real struggle. Okay, number 3. And this one, well, it kind of just comes down to simple math, really. When your passions are super niche, like really specific, the number of people who can actually talk with you about them just gets smaller and smaller. I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly captures that feeling of being on the outside looking in. Not because you want to be, but because the things that light up your brain are just totally different from the mainstream. Finding people who are on that same wavelength is a real challenge. You know how important humor is for connecting with people, right? It's like a social glue. But what happens when your jokes just don't land? Or even worse, they get taken the wrong way. It creates this invisible wall that gets in the way of making a real connection. Think about it. The humor often leans on layers of irony or really complex puns or references to something pretty obscure. So what you think is a perfectly clever joke might just sound like a weird, random sentence to somebody else. And that can make you seem kind of dry or even cynical when all you were trying to do was share a laugh. Oh man, this one is really tough because most of the time it's totally unintentional. When you're passionate about a topic and you speak precisely because you care about getting it right, it can accidentally make other people feel, well, a little insecure, like they can't keep up. And this right here shows that huge gap between your intention and how you're perceived. In your head, you're just excited, you're just sharing what you know, but to someone else, it can come across as you acting like a know-it-all. That perception can shut down a potential friendship before it even has a chance to start. And that brings us to our final reason, number 6. And this one really ties everything together. This isn't about having impossibly high standards for people. It's about having different standards. It's a deep-seated need for real, authentic connection. So the whole mindset just shifts. It becomes all about quality over quantity. The goal isn't to have 100 acquaintances, it's to have a few deep, meaningful friendships. Things like performative socializing, going to parties just to be seen, it just feels empty. The search is for true kinship, not just a full social calendar. So, okay, we've laid out all these challenges, but the whole point here isn't to say you're flawed and you need to be fixed. The key is to completely reframe how you look at the entire problem. And this is the most important takeaway of all. The problem has never been about being too smart.
The real challenge is, and always has been, about compatibility. It's about finding your tribe, the people who speak your language, who get your jokes, and who appreciate the unique, amazing way that your mind works.
And that's really what it all boils down to, isn't it? It's not about trying to change who you are, to squeeze yourself into a box where you don't fit. It's about searching for that corner of the world that was made for you all along. So I'll leave you with this question. Is the goal really to fit in, or is it to finally find where you truly belong?